Welcome back to the Global Blockchain Summit. We're here still at the event with a crowd roar next door to us. Well, we can almost hear it. It's back there. I'm Hans Holker. I'm working with James Berry. And James, we get to see you quite a bit, which is, of course, our honor. You're here in Colorado, so that's fantastic. And we're part of the Silicon Valley of blockchain, which is the Front Range of Colorado. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. I wanted to just ask you a couple quick things today as you're here with us. One is to talk a little bit about where you see blockchain heading now, just in the next year to year and a half. What's happening in your mind with blockchain just now?
If I look at where the blockchains are going, there are several that are going to surface that people are going to use. And those have got to increase themselves in speed, ease of use, and some other attributes that will make it easier for companies to adopt. Companies are trying to use blockchain in a variety of methods. The actual ability of a blockchain to keep transactions in a distributed ledger with consensus, with smart contracts, are all exactly what the market needs today. Mm-hmm. It's execution now. And so what's going to happen over the next year and a half, you're going to find execution is going to improve. These are going to get a lot faster. They're going to get a lot more complete. And what's really needed to make them fly is tools. And what you don't have the tooling around it, when I say the tooling, so for a smart contract, a business person needs to be able to go out, write up a smart contract, click a few buttons, hit complete, and it's done. It's ironclad. It can't be hacked. If you look at what's happening on the actual ledgers themselves, they need to speed up so they can improve transactions so that you're not waiting. And so that's delayed a lot of very innovative companies that have come out. And those innovative companies are waiting for something that's going to speed it up so their clientele that they've talked to about disrupting an industry are going to accept it. You can do pilots. You need to be able to do production at full speed.
Yeah, absolutely. So you had mentioned in your kind of discussion earlier in your presentation a little bit about some of the other competing blockchain technologies and different forms of distributed ledger and things that are out there. I looked myself a little bit into Hashgraph. Sounds really interesting, but I know several others. Do you find there's one that you would say is particularly interesting, or that you see as an interesting future amongst the different variations of the technology for the fabric?
Well, today I find a lot of interesting new blockchains coming out, but I still don't think we've seen what I'd call the blockchain of the future. And so this is the third conference this week I've spoken at, and as I've walked through with a lot of the other speakers, we're all pretty much in agreement. This very much feels like the internet when it first started. And you had Yahoo, Alta Vista, you had all these search engines, they ruled the roost. And then this company called Google comes along. And next thing you know is Google owns everything. You can do the same thing with MySpace, and there was a couple of others that were like that.
Friendster and whatever they were back in the day.
And they ruled the roost, and here comes Facebook. I don't think we've seen our Facebook Google moment yet, so I think that those are coming. So
well, when that comes, can you tell me straight away when you find the Google?
I was around at Google. I didn't see Google when it happened. So.
Right.
And of the ones today, Hashgraph is probably the most interesting in terms of how it executes, because it's very fast. It has a patented method around gossip with time, and gossip means that your nearest half a dozen nodes, or however many you set, are approving a transaction, and it happens very quickly. It doesn't need all of these computing power that eats up electricity. Right. That you talk about now. You don't have to do it off-chain. You don't have to do it someplace else. So that is the most interesting technology. It's fast. They're working on some tooling around it. I don't particularly like the business model around it because they have wrapped that into their own private network.
Right.
But as a chain, that has the best possibility today. But I still don't think we've seen the future.
Interesting. So speaking of the future, or I guess what some of the interesting things that have come up here at the conference, is there an application or a business model that you saw here that you found really interesting?
Well, I think a lot of the models have been out there for a while. What I find is a lot of adoption happening in areas like supply chain,
Yeah.
where we've had some people talking through that. Adoption in areas where it makes a natural fit, natural area, you're finding those be taken up. I personally find it fascinating that art, diamonds, somebody spoke on diamonds,
Yeah.
and that type of tracking is so unique and will change those industries. And if you think about it, they're not tech industries. They're just regular industry, but you're tracking and proving the provenance of art or a diamond. I guess every diamond is unique in its pattern, and they can take a picture and prove where it's been and prove where it's come from. That stops the blood diamonds. It stops a lot of that. I think that's fascinating to me because I would not have thought of that a couple of years ago when I was starting out in blockchain.
No, I hear you. Definitely, that one is interesting. I had a background in supply chain and transportation, so I think like SweetBridge and Sophia TX, like we see here talking about those solutions, is interesting. And one of their cases, of course, was automotive industry, which is, again, not necessarily from the onset of being super high tech, but it's a tracking supply chain deal that they work with there. I guess the just to close off and finish up here, I know we got more things to do at the conference, but if you were to say one thing that you're personally working with that you're excited to share with us, if you can, I know you're involved with so many different things, but is there something you'd like to share?
Decentral is my company, and it's using blockchain for security, something that people hadn't thought about, and the security of an endpoint IoT device, a security of a branch office. And so we are at a very low level using blockchain smart contracts for what they call content filtering coming in, and smart or blockchain ledgers for keeping all the log files. I'm very sure that this is going to change how security is done. And when I talk about that, so your credit cards and everything else get hacked all the time. You hear about passwords and names, and you get these emails saying that you need to change everything because we just got hacked, whatever company that is.
Yeah, fill in the blank.
And so we're working on that. And with a blockchain paradigm, you're able to change how security is done in a way that hasn't been looked at in the last 5-10 years. As these things have happened, and couple that with a little bit of AI that we have, and you've got a new paradigm on how to secure endpoints on there. So that's what I'm excited about.
Fantastic. Wow. Keep us posted as we go along.
Okay.
So, and guys, James Berry, you can look for his video also for his presentation at the Global Blockchain Summit, and we'll see you in the fall session for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks, Hans.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Take care.